Hello, Danky Kang Gang, and in this video, it will be sort of our second look into Joe Rogan. In the past, I've talked a little bit about Joe and how he's sort of this useful patsy for the alt-right, how he uses his vast platform to give a voice and give introduce a mass audience of people to alt-right ideas and ideologues. He's had various people on his show, from Gavin McInnes to Milo Yiannopoulos, Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder, and just a whole slew of conservative conspiracy theorists, white nationalists, alt-righters. He even had somebody like Sargon on his show. And so somebody on Twitter named Nathan Bernard posted this, and it said, David Duke's only purpose is to spread neo-Nazi propaganda in the hopes of radicalizing vulnerable people at Joe Rogan. And it's from this clip, this video. David Duke is still on Twitter because he serves a purpose, Joe Rogan. And of course, this is a racist tweet by David Duke. I won't even do him the dignity of reading it. Stupid. But here's big-brained Joe Rogan's hot take. He's probably in full ketosis because his brain is operating on like minimum levels right here, and he's got a very hot big brain boy take, kettlebell fueled take, DMT fueled take from Joe Rogan about David Duke and why we should really let folks like David Duke be able to speak in front of a mass audience.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Of course, things are getting better. But one of the reasons why these things are getting better is because people can see everything. You can talk through all the details.
Yes.
If you think you can just cut off the ugly stuff, or cut off the Nazi stuff, and cut off this stuff, and you're going to keep people from getting recruited, so you're going to kill this, and you're going to deplatform this, you're also going to enforce assholes to say, like, there's a reason why they're silencing us.
All right, that is stupid. First of all, YouTube, the biggest channel on YouTube, number one channel, PewDiePie, has how many fucking subscribers? 96,726,000 subscribers. And when PewDiePie says stuff like this,
What the fuck is happening?
Potato was fucking insane. I was holding it so fucking straight.
when's he gonna say it? Come on, Pewds. Anyway, we all know what he said. So when PewDiePie, the biggest channel on YouTube, is spreading Nazi propaganda, encouraging his mass audience of kids to go look at Nazi memes at this other guy's channel, when people like Steven Crowder are essentially allowed to harass people for years and not be deplatformed, when people like Ben Shapiro are allowed to spew their hateful bullshit on the internet, just all of these people, all of these hateful, racist, alt-right MAGA chuds. But specifically, talking about the most harmful elements of that, these alt-right, white nationalist Pepe Chud boys, allowing them to spread their putrid ideas on any platform frequented by most people is going to expose more people to those ideas. Having Joe Rogan is treating it like it's all out there in the ether, in the algorithm, in the search engine algorithm, directs everybody to all this content evenly. No, folks. The alt-right is prevalent in a vast majority of communities and subcultures all around the internet. Gaming culture, comic book culture, geek culture, HEMA, historical European martial arts, LARPing, all of that stuff is dominated by the alt-right, and it's because of their strategy of going into subcommunities, taking over the conversation, and slowly introducing these quote unquote ironic racist jokes that eventually stop being jokes and start being direct dog whistles. Joe Rogan seems to think that if we were to purge Twitter of all Nazis, for example, then that would somehow make more Nazis and it would give them some kind of legitimacy. No, Joe Rogan, that's not how that works. When a Nazi gets deplatformed, or when a Nazi gets punched in the fucking face, that doesn't give them the claimant of victimhood. They're still a fucking Nazi scum piece of shit. Alright? Nazis deserve to be deplatformed. They don't deserve a platform. They don't deserve to be able to walk around freely in public without being milkshaked or having to fear about getting punched in the face. Because their very fucking identity as a Nazi is one of violence and one of exclusion. So no, Joe, we can't have them at the table. Imagine, the online community as being like a giant dinner party, and everybody's allowed to bring a dish. And then the alt-right show up, these white supremacist chuds show up, and they bring a giant platter of shit and demand everyone take a bite. Because after all, we have to consider all dishes, all foods evenly here. No, they have no place at the table, Joe.
There's a reason why. Instead of having people going, hey, no, you guys are shitheads, and this is a stupid idea, and you guys are all ignorant fools, and your perception of things is so off, and we're going to explain to you why it's off, and we're going to all work this out together.
Well, then why doesn't he do that when he had fucking chodes like Gavin McInnes on his show, or Milo Yiannopoulos, or Sargon of Akkad? Why doesn't he sit them down and explain to them why the fuck they're wrong? Why does he coddle them? Why does he give them these softball interviews where he acts like he's their fucking friend if he doesn't agree with them? Alright? It's just stupid.
And when they say there's a secret elite who's running this country and wants to control your life,
they mean Jews.
Well,
don't they?
Shit, jig is up. They know. Shut it down. But this is their proof. Mm-hmm. They can point to Twitter and Facebook.
Like I said, anti-fascist action and social media platforms choosing to purge their platforms of Nazis, that doesn't make that doesn't legitimize their claims of like white genocide and the Jewish conspiracy. I don't know how you go from A to B there. I don't know how you go from, oh, I got kicked off of Twitter, so that must mean that white people are being attacked by the international Jewish conspiracy to replace us. It's all part of the Jews' attempt to silence us. You can only get there by assuming certain racist things, like Twitter is owned by Jews, operated by Jews to advance the Jewish agenda, and it just presumes all this white supremacist bullshit. So no, you can't go from A to B like that unless you're already a fucking Nazi. The people who are like, ooh, I wasn't a Nazi until somebody called me one, and then I became a Nazi, chances are those people were already pretty much Nazis. They just decided to go full mask off once they got called one. I don't care how many fucking people called me a Nazi. I am not going to turn into a fucking Nazi, ladies and gentlemen. So that whole argument is bullshit, and this whole argument is bullshit.
And they could also say, hey, they're picking off the same exact people on every platform. Isn't that a coincidence?
Yep.
Whereas David Duke is still on Twitter.
Is he really?
Yeah, of course.
That's hilarious.
Is it?
Hilarious?
No.
But it's telling.
No, it's not hilarious like ha ha.
I know, but it's
what the fuck? They got rid of Farrakhan, they didn't get rid of David Duke.
Right. Right, because David Duke serves a purpose.
So, I mean, they're laughing at the fact that social media platforms have taken down some right-wingers but not others. They're saying, like, it's selective, and I don't understand, like, what the argument is here. Like, they're taking down more mild right-wingers but not the real extremist. So, is Joe Rogan for the deplatforming of these, like, extremist right-wingers? Like, I guess he's trying to say, like, it's ridiculous that David Duke's, account is still allowed, but somebody else's account isn't. And, yeah, that is ridiculous, but he was literally just arguing that we shouldn't deplatform the Nazis because it would grant them this victim complex legitimacy.
purpose.
What purpose?
Because he's a good foil for the left. Because when David Duke endorses a Republican, look, oh, the Republicans are racist. When David Duke endorses Ilhan Omar or Keith Ellison, crickets.
David Duke endorsed Ilhan Omar? Yeah, I'm sure that fucking happened. I'm sure David Duke and Ilhan Omar's political views overlap so much that they're basically the exact same fucking person. This is your fucking brain on the Joe Rogan experience, folks. I don't know if these guys just smoked too much DMT before they came on board, but I think they need to smoke more because they're obviously not enlightened yet. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. They contradict themselves almost immediately after they say something.
You'd be a good bad guy on payroll. Like, if I was the Democratic Party, I'd say, look, Dave, the jig is up, okay? Everybody knows you're never going to be president.
Right.
Never going to really run for office anywhere legitimate, but...
He's not that good.
Can you get a sense of this fucking 4D Jimmy Dore style chess game that Joe Rogan is playing right now? He's literally saying the Democratic Party has like bribed David Duke to endorse certain Republican politicians so that they will be associated with him and his racist white supremacist bullshit so that those Republicans would lose. Like, I guess fucking Joe Rogan and Jimmy Dore just think like the Democratic Party are just these big brain cabal of just master geniuses who orchestrate everything like Emperor Palpatine style. Hey Joe, guess what? The Democratic Party's not that fucking smart, okay? You think David Duke would help the Democratic Party? You honestly think that? You don't think David Duke thinks the Democratic parties are like the party of the Jew? You gotta be fucking kidding me, Joe Rogan. Jesus Christ. Alright, David Duke endorses candidates like Donald Trump, by the way, because, oh, I don't know, maybe it's because Donald Trump's a fucking racist. You ever thought of that? Have you ever thought maybe that's why David Duke endorses all these Republican candidates? Maybe it's because the Republicans hold some views that David Duke is sympathetic towards.
Good of a bad guy.
Valuable. How about this, David? We'll give you $400,000.
He's such a fucking idiot.
All you have to do is
Alright, Joe Rogan, show me the fucking check then. If you're so confident that the Democratic Party bribed David Duke to just stab all these Republicans in the back by endorsing them somehow, they're playing the stupid 5D chess game, then fucking put up some evidence. Put up or shut up, Joe Rogan. You have the biggest fucking podcast in the whole fucking world, and you are so irresponsible with these dipshit ass conspiracy theories that you go pushing around that are completely baseless, by the way. This is not based in reality. Joe Rogan's cooked up this whole fucking David Duke Democratic conspiracy just in his little mind.
Every now and then, I'm going to call you up and I'm going to say, Dave, you know what would be interesting? It would be interesting if David Duke endorsed this asshole. And then David Duke just starts talking about this person being a fine American and a white nationalist and all these different... Just make up a bunch of quotes. Leave
it to Joe Rogan to fucking blame the Democratic Party for David Duke somehow. This is your brain on the fucking JRE, people. This is what happens when you do jujitsu and you take too many roundhouse kicks to the face. Your brains get scrambled and you start thinking this stupid shit actually sounds smart.
And have David Duke put it up there.
A lot of people, when that happens,
never shake that off.
A lot of people think he's controlled, like not him specifically.
Controlled opposition.
He's controlled opposition.
Okay, controlled opposition. That sounds at home on some fucking Alex Jones shit. Alright, controlled opposition. That sounds like something that Alex Jones would tout around. Here we have the biggest fucking podcast in the world spouting this shit out.
That's my favorite.
All right, when someone's not banned, they must be controlled opposition.
That is one of my favorite conspiracy dork theories.
It is. A controlled opposition is someone who you don't like who hasn't been banned yet.
Yeah, controlled opposition. He's a useful idiot.
Yeah.
Controlled opposition.
I would say Joe Rogan's a fucking useful idiot for the alt-right.
It's like when people get into these...
I've been accused of being a CIA plant.
You probably are. It's probably one of these...
A is for anarchy.
You know the term cognoscenti? Like those in the know.
In the know, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great term. And that's perfect for this. It's like, oh, useful idiot. Oh, controlled opposition. I'm in the know. I'm one of the cognoscenti.
Yeah.
You're not going to sneak this by me. I understand. But meanwhile, sometimes they're right, which is why it's really fucked up. It's like sometimes there is controlled opposition. Sometimes there is. Sometimes...
Yeah, fucking Joe, but do you have proof? in this case that it is, or are you just pulling this out of your ass like you do so much other shit that you say? Like, seriously, Joe Rogan, like, you just cooked up this whole fucking conspiracy, and then you're like, well, sometimes there is a controlled opposition, so, this could be true.
Just fake websites that talk about.
Hey, Joe, sometimes the government lies, so I guess they lied about the fucking moon landing too. You probably believe that, actually.
Because somebody wants, probably,
Yeah.
somebody wants to win a lawsuit. Look at this. Dear, this case that you're working on, come and look at this website I found.
But that's
They're
why
killing babies.
That's why it's so important for there to be venues for those people. If someone is crazy or brilliant, it often looks the same.
All right, if someone is crazy or brilliant, it looks the same. So I guess is David Duke counted among that? Pretty disgraceful stuff, pretty disturbing stuff from Joe Rogan. Kind of makes me sick seeing him. He didn't take up for David Duke necessarily. So this tweet, is still on Twitter because he serves a purpose. I mean, yeah, that was a quote. Taking the quote in its total context, Joe Rogan wasn't endorsing David Duke. He wasn't saying like he serves a good purpose, but he serves as a controlled opposition from the Democratic Party. An asinine conspiracy theory, a stupid conspiracy theory, and one that pretty much downplays the role David Duke has in the white supremacist movement. And yeah, it's really irresponsible for him to say that on a podcast as large as his to an audience as large as his. Oh yeah, guys, David Duke's just a Democratic Party puppet, so so stupid.